Nice.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Mariners Baseball here on the Harwich Mariners Radio Network. As tonight, Harwich is in Orleans to take on the Firebirds in the second game of a home series. Orleans getting the win yesterday, and now, Tyler, today, the Mariners looking to get some revenge.
Yeah, and they didn't have to wait long to do it. It's been very quick, and now the national anthem is on its way. So we'll have the rest of pregame on the other side of the break. Right after this, you're listening to Mariners Baseball on the Harwich Radio Network.
And welcome back once again to Eldridge Park, where we are just moments away from first pitch between the Harwich Mariners and the Orleans Firebirds. Again, Tyler Henry. Oh, I'm Colin Casey alongside Tyler Henry. And Tyler, the Mariners, of course, looking to get some revenge after a tough game yesterday in which they really couldn't get anything offensively despite some solid pitching. What do they need to do here to get that first win against the Eastern Division?
I mean, it was a really good start for the team when you look at, being able to get 4 hits in the first couple of innings, but they ended up leaving a couple of key runners on base. And, honestly, it's just going to be about the lineup coming out and performing. A new guy leading things off today. It'll be Max Marshak from the University of Texas Tech here making his debut, so he could have a pretty big impact. And, again, this is a lineup that is devoid of a couple of its best players, considering that the College World Series Home Run Derby happened just a day ago. So 3 of the big bats in the lineup are currently elsewhere, and they'll be back on Tuesday. But it's just going to be about performing and letting the pitching do the rest, and that's kind of been the mantra the entire year. These are the two teams with the best pitching staffs in the league, and they'll be squaring off again here. It's just going to be a matter of who can score more runs. Simple as that.
So, let's take a quick look at the Harwich Mariners lineup. As you said, Marshak, the center fielder, making his debut, batting in the leadoff spot. Chris Gallen will bat second out of BC, and he will play right. Batting third in the DH from LSU, Daniel Cabrera. Batting cleanup, first baseman Nico Cavadas. Batting fifth, Joey Weimer, the left fielder from Cincinnati. Batting sixth, Florida's Corey Acton. He will play second. Batting seventh and catching is Pat Winkle. Hal Hughes will bat eighth and play short. And batting ninth and playing third base is Cam Thompson, back in the lineup once again. And the first pitch is swung on and missed by Marshak for strike one.
Yep, Marshak, as we mentioned, making his debut here today, and his team getting bumped from the College World Series playoffs. Made it quite a ways into that quarterfinal, but just were unable to move on further.
And he'll lay down a bunt, and it will roll foul, being picked up by the catcher Rob Emery before it rolled back into fair play. So now count will be at 1-1.
Not a bad idea. I mean, we know that Marshak has speed. 8 stolen bases for him last season, unofficially going into that College World Series final playoff. And, pretty good year for him back in 2019. Hit about 240 coming into that. A on-base percentage of 302. 6 extra base hits and a home run to add to that as well.
And on the mound for the Firebirds is Jared Schuster, the lefty out of Wake Forest. Here's his 1-1. It misses outside.
Well, and Harwich, of course, had 3 Wake Forest players of their own, and there were several others scattered throughout the league. A lot of Demon Deacons out here on the Cape this summer.
Fastball's on the outside corner for strike 3, and Marshak goes down looking, and that is out number 1 in the first.
But a couple of the hottest bats in the lineup for the Mariners coming up, including Chris Gallant, who will step in now from the left side. Gallant, of course, has put together a phenomenal season in his own right coming into this game, hitting a cool 294 on the year.
Schuster coming in 1-0 on the season with 8 scoreless innings and 2 appearances. First pitch he throws to Gallen, misses outside.
Yep, Schuster's looked awfully good. You mentioned out of Wake Forest, and back in 2019, look at his season, not the greatest, 4-4, as this one will miss high and away with a 6.49 ERA. So an awfully tough 2019 with Wake Forest, trying to work some kinks out here in the summer.
That fastball's in there to make the count 1-2. Gallen's lone home run last year coming against the Orleans Firebirds in a walk-off, and that pitch will miss to even the count at 2.
Yep, and one of the hottest starts to the season. Him and Joey Weimer both just kind of never looked back. 2 of the bigger speed threats on this team, so we'll see whether he can slap one in play here.
3-1, big swing and a miss by Gallen. He was looking to add to that home run total with the Harwich Mariners. Would have been his second of his career, but he comes up empty, and that'll fill the count. Daniel Cabrera sits on deck. Payoff pitch from Schuster, fouled straight back to the netting.
Yep, and a brick backstop here at Eldridge Park, but some padding on that right behind home plate, so anything that gets back is going to be deadened. And with this, Colin, we've actually been to all 10 parks, I believe.
Still waiting on Brewster, I think.
Oh, you're correct. Still waiting on Brewster. That'll be on Wednesday of next week.
Another full count pitch, and there's a high pop-up fading towards the right side. Over to make the catch is the first baseman. That is Ray Gill for out number 2.
So as Daniel Cabrera comes up, let's just set the field really quick for you here at Eldridge Park. It's going to be 314 out to right field, 434 to straightaway center. And maybe the most interesting thing about this park, Colin, they actually have the ground rules. There's a secondary line. So you've got the foul line going to the foul pole and then a white line off on the right side. And you have fans over there. So even though there's not a fence.
As that ball is hit well out towards left field. But calling it off is the center fielder, as running over to make the catch is Jordan Lala, and that will retire the side. So the Mariners go down in order to start this ball game. It'll be the Firebirds with their first ups coming up next. Once again, you're listening to Harwich Mariners Baseball on the Mariners Radio Network. Set to begin the bottom of the first, and it'll be Carson Seymour out there for the Mariners. And Tyler, he really hasn't gotten a chance to have a full outing in his 2 appearances so far with the Harwich Mariners.
Yeah, no, he was brought in on an innings limits to pitch against Falmouth in Game 2 of that doubleheader, so only able to go 1 1/3. Looked pretty good. Only gave up 2 hits, 1 run, 3 strikeouts to 1 walk. Then in his second game against Catuit, he was slated for a full start. Got 2 2/3 in before the rain came down and ended up washing out his start. So while the numbers remain, he was unable to come back out, and they had to go to another pitcher in, I believe it was Seckler, but either way, going to a different pitcher that day, and now he'll finally, hopefully, get another start. Although rain is on its way, we're going to be competing with that all day long. Already 1 game canceled between Chatham and Falmouth, and plenty of rain coming down on Hyannis, so they're trying to get their game in with Bourne, but no guarantees that that will be able to happen.
So Jordan Lala from the University of Miami digging in. And Seymour will deliver from the windup. And here's his first pitch. It's in there for a called strike.
So take a look at Seymour so far this year. I mentioned the 2 starts. So combined on his season, an ERA of 2.25 through 4 innings pitched, 6 strikeouts to 2 walks.
That pitch swung on foul to the backstop, so he was ahead in the count on Lala, 0-2. And Lala was 2 for 4, or excuse me, he was 1 for 4 yesterday with a run scored, singling and coming around to score back in the 6th inning. 0-2, swing and a miss, strike 3, and Lala down on 3 pitches. A good start for Seymour, 1 down in the home half of the first.
Yeah, and a pretty different lineup, all things considered, as Zach Kokoska will come to the dish. He was not in the lineup yesterday. The only guys that are going to be returning will be Jordan Lala, Matt Goodhart, Ray Gill, and Shea Whitcomb. Everybody else is new today in the Orleans lineup, so throwing a different look out here at the Mariners against the righty.
And the lineup yesterday putting up 5 runs on Mariner pitching as first pitch to Kokosa misses outside, and Kokosa, a teammate of Cam Thompson, who's batting 9th and playing 3rd for the Mariners over at Kansas State. 1-0, that one's in there.
Yeah, that'll be another strike in here to Zach Kokoska. So he steps in. Wanted to mention really quickly the other line that I was talking about earlier down the third base line, or the first base line, I should say. So you've got fans out there. There's no fence, but if a play is made on the wrong side of the line, it does not count. It counts as out of play. So different ground rules. Here's this one will miss high and inside. A little chin music to Kokoska. But we've seen that in a couple different places, Colin. Back at Falmouth, of course, if the ball rolls underneath the football bleachers, that's a ground rule double. Here, you've got a section that's out of play that you've just got fans in.
2-1 actually will miss just outside. So hitters count for Kokoska, who replaces Zach Britton, who was in right field yesterday, also batting 2nd. Britton with just the fielder's choice. He was 0 for 4 with a run scored. And there's a swing and a miss on a big fastball from Seymour.
Yep, so the count's full here, and we talked about it a little bit yesterday, but Harwich, the team that strikes the most guys out this year, Orleans, the team that strikes out the most with the bat in their hands. So an interesting dynamic between these two teams.
Payoff pitch. It's a hard grounder to short. Hughes comes up with it, and the throw across the diamond is in time. So 2 up, 2 down to begin the home half of the second for Carson Seymour.
Yep, not a bad start, some good efficiency, and maybe that helps us out with the weather as well, because again, the ideal scenario here is that you get to at least the 5th inning. Trying to play through 5 and make this game go official one way or another.
So the 3-hitter, Max Traiani, in the right-handed batter's box. First pitch he sees will miss upstairs.
And we're getting some raindrops here.
That's why we had the tent today.
Yes. We planned ahead today.
And the 1-0. That's on the outside corner. Good spot for Seymour. And Tyler has really been locating his pitch as well the first few batters he's faced.
Yeah, he's looked pretty excellent so far. The command has been there and really able to utilize that 3-pitch set that he has to perfection, as the big breaking ball is going to be in there for a called strike. Of course, for Carson Seymour, fastball, curveball, slider. Pretty traditional 3-pitch guy.
Seymour from the windup, the 1-2. Trying to get Traiani to chase, but he doesn't offer. It's 2-2. Dark clouds continuing to move in as Tyler mentioned. We got a couple of sprinkles here. And that ball's chopped foul towards the backstop.
Yep, and we'll keep you updated around the league as well as cancellations continue to pour in. And Colin, you get the feeling, I mean, looking at the numbers, we're probably going to break the record for the most rainouts this season for the league as a whole.
And just not a kind start for Mother Nature, as the 2-2 is chopped on the ground. Hughes moving to his right, long throw across the diamond, and he's going to be safe, as good hustle by Traiani, reaching base on a 2-out infield single in the bottom of the first.
Yeah, that's just good hustle. I mean, Hal Hughes did everything that he could have done right on that play. Made the grab, threw across his body, but at the end of the day, just not enough to catch the speedster in Max Traiani down the line.
So with 2 down and a runner on, it's Matt Goodhart. from Arkansas. Goodhart DHing and batting cleanup, second consecutive day. First pitch he sees is in there for a strike.
Yep, and so Triani aboard at first. Goodhart, as you mentioned, in the lineup yesterday for this team. He was able to go 1 for 3 with an RBI and a run scored.
Had a sac fly as well to bring home that one RBI as that pitch is fouled off towards the street on the third base side. Despite the threatening weather, still a pretty solid crowd on hand.
Yeah, not bad. And, you know, everybody is kind of at the point where they know the rain's going to come, but still trying to get in some baseball here.
A long look in by Seymour from the stretch. He comes to the belt. And the pitch is hit hard on the ground but foul just past the third base side. The count will be 0-2. Ray Gill on deck as he had quite the game yesterday.
Yep, another guy in the lineup that they brought back, and everybody had a pretty good day yesterday against this team, with the exception of the final 3 guys, 2 of which were pulled from the lineup yesterday.
Gill had reached base 3 times, but now it's an 0-2 to Goodhart, and Winkle unable to frame it as it was high, just a little bit above the zone to make it 1-2.
I like the pitch selection there, though, going with the high fastball, just trying to keep him right up around the letters, and a pretty good job by Goodhart there, not offering at it.
Pretty aggressive leave by Troiani over at first, and he's going. The pitch is swung on and hit in the air to left field, fairly deep, but back to make a nice catch out in left field is Joey Weimer to end the inning. So despite the 2-out single by Max Troiani, able to work out of it in the first is Carson Seymour. So we're through 1 scoreless from Eldridge Park. Once again, you're listening to Harwich Mariners baseball on the Mariners Radio Network. We head to the second as the rain is on its way to Eldridge Park. But the middle of the lineup due up to start the second. Nico Cavadas swings the first pitch, and it is hit foul off to the right, and it is Jared Schuster back out there. 2-3 first, and he continues that scoreless inning streak to begin his season with the Orleans Firebirds.
Yep, these are the 2 top pitching teams in the league, and that's kind of what we expected, as this is fouled right back to us. So, again, I mean, you're going to see a lot of strikeouts. You're going to see a lot of guys that get some soft, weak contact off of these pitching staffs, and ultimately it makes for some quick games, which, again, is good here. So we're trying to get 5 innings in at least.
0-2 to Cavadas, misses just outside.
Yep, and there's that patented fastball out of Jared Schuster. We've seen him utilize that. Nothing's too overpowering. You're going to get in the low 90s with it, but it's the off-speed where he really shines.
Another pitch, that one will miss, so Cavadas able to work the count back even 2-2. As he continues to play first base more and more after the departure of Bobby Seymour. Pretty much the everyday first baseman for the Mariners. That ball is hit a ton out towards right center field. Back at the track at the wall, and it is up against the wall. Cavadas is into second with a leadoff double.
Nico Cavadas has this habit of hitting it to the deepest part of the ballpark. How many times have we seen him get a hold of one that may have been a bomb down the line, but straightaway center field, and it's going to be a stand-up double by Nico Cavadas to start.
Yeah, and part of that being the ballpark is how deep the center field fence juts out to 434 to dead center. Just puts himself in scoring position for Joey Weimer with nobody out.
Yep, and an interesting move to move Joey Weimer down the line this far as he's hitting today in the 5-hole, usually hitting somewhere between 1 and 2. So he's been moved down, and now the Mariners will get to employ his services here in the middle of the order.
First pitch to Weimer misses up. And Schuster, that was just his 5th hit allowed in just over 9 innings, so he's been tough to hit, especially as hard as Cavadas was able to do just then. The 1-0, big swing by Weimer. He was looking to put that one off the scoreboard, 1-1.
Yeah, Weimer sitting on the fastball the whole way there, and that's kind of been something Schuster's going to have to look out for, as he's really gone off speed usually to start his at bat, but then after that, going right back to the fastball, and these guys in the lineup starting to pick up on it a little bit.
The 1-1, another big cut by Weimer, and he comes up empty, so some good movement on the fastball by Schuster, and he's ahead 1-2.
Yeah, and that's the one thing with Joey Weimer we know is it doesn't matter whether he gets under it or on top of it, he's going to hit the ball hard somewhere, and you're going to have to make a play one way or the other.
1-2, waved at and missed in the dirt, but Weimer going to go try to take first, and he will not be able to do so as the throw on to Gill is in time for out number 1, and Cavadas forced to say second. A good job looking the runner back by the catcher, Emery.
Yeah, Cavadas not really taking too big of a secondary lead there, so Emery's able to look him back, and no harm, no foul. But with one away, still a runner in scoring position here for the Mariners for Corey Acton, who is here in his second game as a Harwich Mariner. Made his debut yesterday, over 3 with a couple of strikeouts. But we know about Harwich Mariners in their second games of the year.
And the Florida Gator looks at the first pitch low. Acton in a huge spot. And as you mentioned, Tyler, mind is Daniel Cabrera with that big 4 RBI game against Hyannis.
Yep, Cabrera with 4 RBIs. Tyler Keenan in his second game went yard and had
3 RBIs, in fact, as that pitch misses low.
Pat Winkle and Mike Rothenberg picked up their first hit in their second game. I mean, it seems like everybody who's made their debut has gotten off to a slow start, but from that point on, it's been pretty consistent.
Schuster trying to get a big second out, but he's down 2-0 to Acton. And that pitch is hit well out towards left field and carrying. Going back at the track, the wall, it's gone! A 2-run shot opposite field for Corey Acton, and the second game streak continues for Harwich Mariners. It's 2-0 Mariners.
Well, what did we say? I mean, just right on cue, and how about that? Welcome to the Cape League, Corey Acton. A 2-run shot, and the Mariners are on top early.
And that is, in fact, the first opposite field home run of the season for the Mariners, so finally some of that power going the other way, and that ball clearing the left field fence as Troiani ran out of real estate trying to run it down.
And the funny thing with Corey Acton is this one's hit high into right field, all the way back at the fence, and that's going to be caught out there in right by Kokoska just barely. The Mariners almost going back-to-back there.
So a good swing by Winkle, but got under it a little bit, and now with 2 away and the base is empty, it'll be Hal Hughes. That was the first 2 runs given up by Schuster this year after a 9 straight scoreless innings to begin. Going across 2 outings, and now the third one, he only went 1 inning without giving up a run. And Hughes hits a ball up the middle. Play over made at second. The throw onto first by Soretti is in time for out number 3. But Mariners strike first. Corey Acton's first hit, a huge one for the Mariners. He gives his team a 2-0 lead. bottom of the second as Harwich Mariners taking an early 2-0 lead over the Orleans Firebirds. And as we look around the rest of the league, Yarmouth Dennis taking a 2-0 lead over the Brewster Whitecaps in another big Eastern Division game.
Yep, so those two going at it. Of course, a game that's already been canceled between Chatham and Falmouth, and then Bourne and Hyannis. Still no word yet. That game's slated for a 6 o'clock start, but plenty of rain coming down on the western half of the Cape Cod League. The sprinkles have cleared up here for now, but the skies still look awfully threatening. We'll keep you updated on that as this one goes on.
Yeah, and the hope for the Mariners, at least, is that this game becomes official after 5 innings, considering they have an early 2-0 lead as we head to the bottom of the second, and Ray Gill will lead things off. Gill, another Miami product, teammates with Jordan Lala. So Carson Seymour's first pitch to him is hit in the air out towards left field. That ball's carrying. Back at the track, Weimer leaping up, and that ball's out of here. A solo home run for Ray Gill, and the lead is cut in half. It is now 2-1 Harwich.
And I was wondering whether or not Weimer was going to go over the fence again. Just an excellent effort for him out there in left field, but that ball is gone. And I was going to mention the Mariners did jump out to an early lead yesterday over the Orleans Firebirds, courtesy of a double by Joey Weimer, and then he came around to score, but no lead is safe. This Orleans lineup knocks another one in, and they've cut the lead in half on the first swing of the inning.
So the first pitch that Gill sees, he sends it over the left field fence, very close to the spot where Corey Acton hit his ball out. And so now Soretti looking to follow things up. First pitch he sees is a healthy fastball from Seymour in there for strike one.
But a great effort again out there by Joey Weimer. He really he collected himself by the fence, leaped up, and I thought for a second he might have been able to get that 6'5" frame up to grab it.
It's a backdoor curveball from Seymour. And he's got Soretti down in the count 0-2. Soretti, a UNC Tar Heel, playing second base for the second game in a row. And he lays off a pitch very close towards the outside corner, but just missing.
Yeah, Seymour right now keeping everything kind of on the outer half. Doesn't want to miss with anything inside and doesn't want to let somebody turn around on one.
There's a chopper up the middle. Seymour unable to make the play. Glances off him. Hughes has no throw. And so it's going to be what looks like an infield single, as that ball was a tough play for Seymour. It goes off his glove, and we'll see what the ruling is there, but it should be an infield hit for Soretti.
Well, it wouldn't have been helpful if it didn't go off his glove either, because that thing took a little skip off the mound. So an infield single there for Soretti, another runner on base here for the Firebirds, and still nobody away for Shea Whitcomb.
Yeah, and Whitcomb really the star of yesterday, going 2 for 4 with 3 RBIs and a pair of stolen bases. So some production from Whitcomb, who is back in that 7th spot, but he's playing short instead of third base. Stretch by Seymour. The pitch, and that'll miss high. So 1-0.
Yep, and for Shea Whitcomb, a pretty good 2019 campaign with UC San Diego, hitting .314 during his season. So trying to expand on that. It's been a pretty good start here to his summer league.
Whitcomb a power threat as well with 11 home runs. And he hits a ball hard on the ground to Hughes. Throws to second for 1. Return throw is in time, and it is a 6-4-3 double play as they retire Whitcomb 2 away.
Yep, a good way to end the little run that the Orleans Firebirds had gone on. Never want to let a team like that get momentum, and after the Ray Gill home run, Soretti getting on base spelled trouble, but now just 1 out away from ending the inning, still on top.
So with 2 down, Rob Emery will dig in, catcher out of University of San Francisco. Seymour's first pitch misses high and away. USF, of course, known as the school that longtime Hall of Famer, or longtime Celtic and Basketball Hall of Famer Bill Russell went to. Is that 11 championships with the Boston Celtics, a team that's having themselves quite the big day in NBA free agency. The 1-1 fouled off to the right over towards the parking lot.
Yeah, pretty big day for everybody right now in NBA free agency. Emery, of course, just hitting .235 so far this year. 8 for 34 on the season.
Can also play first base as that ball hit on the ground to second. Acton's throw in plenty of time, and that will end the inning. But a solo home run from Ray Gill cuts the lead in half, and after two, it is Harwich 2, Orleans 1. You're listening to Mariners Radio Net or Harwich Mariners baseball on the Mariners Radio Network. Two to one is our score as we head to inning number 3 from Eldridge Park. The Harwich Mariners getting those 2 runs off a 2-run shot from Corey Acton, but another home run in the in the bottom half of the second inning coming from Ray Gill. And so that is where we stand as we head to the third. And leading things off will be the 9-hitter for the Mariners, and that is Cam Thompson.
Yep, Thompson in the starting lineup yesterday for the Mariners, an 0 for 3 for him, so trying to improve on that and have an impact here in the bottom of the lineup. Plenty of speed we already know out of Cam Thompson, the big lefty, or the little lefty, I should say.
And it's lefty against lefty. His first pitch he swings has popped up, heading into foul territory, and that will get out of play just about 15 feet to the left of us.
Yeah, we've got the canopy up in case we get a foul ball, so won't be able to make a catch from behind the screen here today, but we are right behind home plate. A little bit to the left. Heck of a spot.
The 0-1 is an off-speed pitch. Looked like it kind of fooled Thompson as he was unable to pull the trigger. Now he falls behind 0-2.
Yeah, for Cam Thompson, 6 foot 185, not one of the more intimidating frames on this team, but here he hits one to short.
Making the play is the shortstop Whitcomb. Throws in time, and so Speedy Thompson retired for out number 1 in the third.
And they'll head back to the top of the order where Max Marshak will dig in. And if history is to repeat itself, it may be a slow day for Marshak, but he should be set to go crazy on Tuesday.
Yep, Tuesday we'll be back at White House Field to host the Chatham Anglers. The first pitch to Marshak goes all the way to the backstop, 1-0.
Yeah, I don't know what the deal was there. It may have crossed Rob Emery up, as I don't know if he was fully expecting that pitch. That one came high and away, and he didn't even get a glove on it.
Schuster from the windup and a nice changeup, catching Marshak way out in front.
You know, one of the reasons a lot of these guys need to adjust, you do go from the college game where you're playing with a metal bat to the wood bats here in the Cape Cod Baseball League. Of course, the wood bats have been used since 1985.
Big swing and a miss to make the count 1-2. And, you know, Tyler, with the way they've kind of changed the bats at college level, it seems like the power gap between wood and aluminum / composite has really changed as the 1-2 pitch is fouled off to the right.
Yeah, you don't see quite as many insane home run numbers put up across the league, but, you know, it's good. It's definitely, you want to try to make that gap as small as humanly possible so that guys can make the transition to the next level even easier. And, you know, of course, the long-time discussion about whether or not to bring wood bats into the college level still continues.
Waving at that one is Marshak, and he's able to hit it on the ground to the right side. And it's just foul, so Schuster looking to battle and get back to those scoreless innings and start a new streak after giving up a pair of runs last inning. And here's another 1-2, missing just inside.
Not even sure how Marshak put a bat on that last pitch that he saw. That was so high and outside. I thought that he was going to miss it when I saw him pull the trigger, but able to slap it and slap it foul to stay alive.
There's a cue shot right over the Orleans dugout. So a lengthy at-bat here for Max.
Well, and he fits right in with the rest of the lineup. I mean, working deep into counts continues to be just something that the Mariners do better than any other team in the league, and it's really helped them get to the opposing bullpens for better for worse.
2-2 is fouled off to the right out of play. Schuster, a New Bedford, Mass native, so just about a good 50 minutes to an hour away from Orleans, just off the Cape. New Bedford Bay Sox, an NECBL team that's in the midst of their season. Another 2-2. Swing and a miss, strike three, and Marshak strikes out swinging, and that is the second time in as many at-bats that he struck out 2 away.
Yep, so that'll bring Chris Galland up to the dish once again. He's 0 for 1 with a fly out back to first, out in foul territory, his first time up.
So the first pitch to the BC Eagle is a check swing. He did go around, says the home plate umpire, strike one.
Yep, and for Galland, just trying to get back on solid ground again. It had been a few days since he had been in the lineup for this team, being used awfully sparingly as this one will miss low and away. So good to see him getting a few more reps here.
The 1-1 fouled straight back, so not a lot of confidence lost by Schuster despite giving up the 2-run shot. He's gone right back to attacking hitters and is looking to make it 5 in a row retired.
I mean, he's only given up the 2 hits. It's just one was a double and the other was a bomb over the fence.
Check swing by Galland. He did not go around, so that will put the count at 2-2. Pitch from Schuster misses low and outside to work the count full.
Quick update on the rain. There is a weather delay going on right now as the game between Bourne and Hyannis has been moved up to 6:45. But they are still going to try to get that one in.
3-2 pitch, swing and a miss, strike three, and Galland will strike out. That is the third strikeout in as many innings for Schuster, and the side is retired. But the Mariners still own a 2-1 lead after 2.5. You're listening to Mariners Baseball on the Harwich Mariners Radio Network. Josh Zamora will lead things off for the Orleans Firebirds. They trail 2-1 after 2.5 innings, and Tyler Carson Seymour looking to hopefully go at least 3 innings this time around and not be affected by either weather or a pitching limit.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like even when he has been cleared to pitch longer into games, he hasn't really been able to. And again, we mentioned the reason for that, at least back in the first game, as he transferred to the University of Kansas State. He was put on an innings limit and was transfer ineligible throughout the entire 2019 season.
Josh Zamora digging in from the University of Nevada. 9-1-2 due up for Orleans. First pitch from Carson Seymour is in there at the knees for a called strike.
I mean, you want to talk about a guy who went night and day in 2018. Carson Seymour, through 8 appearances, had an ERA of 18.4, but then in the Summer League the following year, through 9 appearances and 41 innings, had an ERA, as this misses low and away, for just a 2.63. So really, really, really improved his numbers with the Southampton's Breakers out there in the Hamptons League.
Pitch is swung on and hit right at center fielder, and making the catch out there for out number 1 is Marshak, his first action in the field. Or excuse me, his first action in the field. He's becoming a Harwich Mariner, 1 down.
So that'll take us back to the top of the order here. It'll be Jordan Lala stepping in for a second time. He is 0 for 1 today with a strikeout. Of course, yesterday went 1 for 3 with a base hit and a run scored.
Well, going to be a rising sophomore. The University of Miami, the first pitch he sees is in there for a strike. Played 54 games for the Hurricanes. Hit 283 with 4 homers, 16 runs batted in, but the big number, of course, being 27 steals. Really a demon on the base pass as a ground ball up the middle. Hughes with a nice play. Throw on to first is in time, and Hal Hughes continues to sparkle defensively, and that is two up, 2 down for Seymour to be in the third.
Yeah, there are a lot of 6-3s in the scorebook that have looked a lot better than that on the field, and Hal Hughes has one of the smoothest collections and deliveries to first base that I think we've seen. So he is just continuing to be a huge tool for the Mariners out there at short. And with 2 away, that'll bring Zach Kokoska up to the dish.
Kokoska did, in fact, ground out to Hughes in his first at-bat. First pitch from Seymour up and away.
Yeah, we'll see how Seymour wants to mix pitches here as he's kind of kept it pretty fast and loose with these guys.
That one missing just low. Kokoska, 7 homers, 30 RBIs with K-State.
Yep, and a teammate of Carson Seymour.
So a wildcat matchup in the first pitch, or the second pitch is swung and fouled off. That's going to end up out of play on the left side.
Yep, so far it's been Seymour getting the better of his wildcat teammate. 0 for 1 for Kokoska.
2 balls, 1 strike the count. Seymour from the windup. An off-speed pitch missing just low. So once again, a deep count for Zach Kokoska, who was able to work it full before grounding out in the first. See if he fares better here. The 3-1. Line drive and caught over at third base by Cam Thompson. He was in the right place at the right time, and that will end the inning. So we're through 3 here from Eldridge Park. Harwich leading Orleans 2-1. You're listening to the Mariners Radio Network. Welcome back once again to Eldridge Park, and just a quick reminder that this edition of Harwich Mariners Baseball is sponsored by Curry College. Learning at Curry College extends beyond the classroom and is embedded in all that they do. Curry prepares students to engage in successful careers and active citizenship with a global perspective. Explore undergraduate majors, minors, and concentrations, including new majors in accounting, biochemistry, and sophomore development, online at www.curry.edu.
So it'll be the heart of the order coming up here for the Mariners. They will hit 3, 4, and 5 as we head to the 4th inning. Mariners on top 2-1 here at Eldridge Park. Out there for another inning of work will be Jared Schuster. It's looked awfully good all game long. First pitch that he throws is going to just miss low and away. Took a little off that one. So Cabrera, who is today 0 for 1, flat out to center his first time up, digs in from the right side. And he'll take a fastball low to make the count 2-0 here.
And despite the power being shown early, Tyler, once again, this game moving at a very quick pace. We're just over 40 minutes in, and we're already in the 4th inning.
This pitch will miss high and inside, a fastball, so it's a 3-0 count on Cabrera. And yeah, back to your point, this game, the only runs have come via home runs, so it's not like the runs took a whole lot of time to put up on the board. As the 3-0 pitch will miss high and inside, and it's a 4-pitch walk to start the inning for Daniel Cabrera.
A good patience there, and Schuster, first time we've seen any vulnerability in terms of control so far in this outing, and he's really going to have to reel things back in with the part of the lineup that burned him coming up, starting with Nico Cavadas.
Cavadas, of course, is 1 for 1 today. Had the big double and then scored on the Corey Acton home run back in the 2nd inning. Here goes the first pitch. It's going to be a fastball that misses low and away. And it's 101 Cavadas. And yeah, aside from the second inning where the Mariners struck for two and the Firebirds struck for one, 2 home runs, 4 hits for the two teams combined. But other than that, these two teams have gone 0 for 6. Or
And,
0 for 12, actually.
and that's 6 straight balls now as we got a mound visit with Schuster being visited by Rob Emery and really starting to lose control of his fastball. And we'll see if maybe this meeting will kind of settle him down.
Yeah, he struggled to locate it, and he looked really good early on in this one. When you look at the Mariners lineup, they've already taken 4 strikeouts, courtesy of Jared Schuster, but he started losing a little bit of grip there, and it didn't seem like his confidence was shaken after giving up the 2 runs. He went right after the strike zone in the Harwich lineup back in the third, a 3-up, 3-down inning featuring 2 strikeouts, but here it's been a bit of a struggle. He's facing one of the biggest power threats here in the lineup as Nico Cavadas has a 2-0 count. Here comes the pitch. Cavadas checks his swing, fastball right down Main Street, and the count is 2-1.
Yeah, despite the little bit of a check swing from Cavadas, you wonder if he might have had the take sign with the struggle of command for Schuster.
Runner's going to take off, throw down to second's a good one, and the slide is going to be in time. So how about that? Daniel Cabrera will come in and swipe second. A good throw can't get him by Rob Emery behind the dish, and the Mariners have a runner in scoring position with nobody out.
Yeah, it looked like Whitcomb just couldn't get the tag down in time. It was very, very close. But again, a good slide by Cabrera nets him a spot in scoring position with nobody out.
So it's a 2-1 count on Nico Cavadas, runner at second base. Mariners up by 1, and Cavadas will wave at a big breaking ball, and that's going to be in strike 3. So Cavadas is down on strikes, and that will bring Joey Weimer up to the dish.
Yeah, this is an identical situation that Weimer was in back in the second with a runner on base. Although there was nobody out at the time, so he's looking to try to maybe bring home that insurance run standing on second base.
Joey Weimer has had several opportunities for RBIs this year. He will pop this one up, but it will get back behind the press box and foul. So it'll be an 0-1 count here on Weimer, but yeah, he has been in position after position this season to drive in runs. And he's done a pretty good job of it so far. Still just 3 RBIs for him, but he's done a pretty good job of just moving them over. A lot of times he's hit in this situation with a runner on second and some outs, more or less than 2. As he will watch this one just miss. Count is even at 1-1.
Yeah, one thing I noticed, this is the first time I've been back here in Orleans in quite some time. Went about probably 10 years ago when I was on vacation. They've really extended the netting all across the field, looking out for fan safety.
1-1 pitch misses high and away, and fan safety seems to be a pretty big talking point here, at least in the Cape Cod League. We've noticed extended netting not only at Orleans, but seemingly everywhere that we've gone this season. But with all the action that we've seen, especially at the major league level, it's been something that's been on the minds of a lot of people. 2-1 pitch. That's going to miss high and away. And the count is 3-1 here on Joey Weimer.
Yeah, so after being able to fight back against Cavadas, Schuster going to have to do the same thing here. He's definitely thrown more balls to sitting than he has strikes.
Weimer's only taken 5 walks so far this year, but he can be patient when he really wants to. Here comes the 3-1, and he will pull the trigger and foul that one back to fill the count. Standing on deck, of course, is Corey Acton, who made his Harwich debut yesterday. Went 0 for 3, but today 1 for 1 with a 2-run bomb, and that currently represents the deficit as the Mariners lead it 2-1. Weimer digs in. Here's the payoff pitch, and he'll swing through that one. Second strikeout of Joey Weimer's day. We'll put 2 outs on the board, and Corey Acton will have to come up to the dish and maybe have some more heroic hitting.
Yeah, and Schuster's strikeout pitch working pretty well. That's now his season high in an appearance with 5, and a lot of that is helped by the fact that he's actually been able to go deep into this one. His longest so far this season was just 5 innings.
Schuster will start Corey Acton off with a breaking ball that will start inside out on the lefty and come into the zone for strike 1. So again, Schuster, a 3-pitch guy, fastball, curveball, changeup. He's had all 3 working pretty well today. He comes from the stretch. Here comes the pitch. Fastball is just going to miss outside, and the count is 1-1.
Schuster, coming out of high school, was the number 3 ranked left-handed pitcher out of the state of Massachusetts. Went 6-0 with a .045 ERA as a freshman in high school.
As he'll skip one in there to Corey Acton to make the count 2-1. So a highly touted guy out of high school, never really looked back as he's had a pretty good career so far and extending that out here at the summer's top developmental league. Plenty of scouts out here to check him out as well. Here comes the 2-1. And that's going to miss low in the dirt. Ball is going to get by Emery, and that's going to allow 90 feet to be given to Daniel Cabrera, who moves up to third base. Emery was able to get his glove on that. It wasn't really cleanly back to the backstop, but it looked like it just kind of skirted under his glove and slid back to us.
Yeah, the last couple of innings have been a bit of an adventure for Emery. I mean, he had that cross-up at the start of the third inning, and now this one just getting right by him.
3-1 count. That'll miss high and inside, and it's going to be another walk here. Corey Acton finds his way on first base, so there are runners at the corners with 2 away for Pat Winkle.
Acton, again, second game, he's been able to find base twice, and he represents an insurance run, but more importantly, the goal here for Winkle is to be able to get a base hit and drive home that third run of the game in Daniel Cabrera, 90 feet away.
So both runners who were on base were put there via the walk. Daniel Cabrera was walked to start the inning. Corey Acton walked with 2 away, and Pat Winkle, who is 0 for 1 today with a fly out, will step on as the pickoff move thrown over to first. Staying at third is Cabrera. In there safely is Acton, and they'll get it back to Jared Schuster. Winkle steps in from the right side, left-handed batter's box. Here comes the first pitch, and he will take that one right at second, picked up by Soretti, who goes the short way to first, and it's going to be in time for out number 3. So the Mariners get runners at the corners, but can't bring him across to score. When we come back, it'll be the Firebirds up to bat in their half of the 4th. You're listening to Harwich Mariners Baseball here on the Mariners Radio Network. Another inning coming up here for Carson Seymour, who has looked pretty good so far, and again, making his first long start, if you will. His first 2 shortened, 1 due to an innings limit, 1 due to weather constraints. But Colin, here through 3 innings, he's looked awfully good, and his location has been seemingly perfect.
Yeah, he hasn't been striking out a whole lot of guys, just the 1 so far, but you know, the location's been great. He's been generating relatively weak contact, but here comes a big test in the bottom of the 4th as he's got to face the heart of the lineup, who has gone 2 for 3 against him so far.
Yep, Max Triani was able to get on with an infield single, and then Ray Gill had a solo shot before Danny Soretti was able to reach base on another infield hit. So both singles have come via the infield variety, and then the home run back in the second by Ray Gill. So it'll be Max Triani stepping up to the dish for the second time today, 1 for 1. And he looks to get things started here for the Firebirds, who trail it as we head to the home half of the 4th. They're down 2-1. Sky's still clear for the time being. As rain continues to come down on the Cape. First pitch is going to be an off speed, and that'll miss outside. So Seymour falls behind Triani 0-1.
Triani at Bentley University here in Mass.
1-0 is going to be taken on the corner. It's going to be picked up. Long throw by Thompson. Is going to have to chase Cavadas off the bag. So in there safely is Max Triani, another infield hit. And unfortunately, as Cam Thompson had to make that play as far off over the third base line as he could be, his hand over the bag when he picked it up and can't make the return throw in time.
Yep, still waiting on the ruling for sure. They're actually going to give Thompson an error, so chalk that one up as an E5 to begin the home half of the 4th.
So the first error charged against the Mariners today. That'll bring Matt Goodhart up. He's 0 for 1 today, flew out to left. And the first pitch he sees is a fastball that will miss up for ball 1.
Yeah, not an easy play at all by Thompson. He did have a little bit of time to make the play, but he really did have to rush the throw, and it was just enough to pull Cavadas off the bag.
Runner on first, nobody out. Matt Goodhart digs in from the right side. And the pitch he sees, he'll check his swing. Fastball misses up and in. The count is 2-0.
And Troiani's stole 17 bases in the spring, so definitely no slouch over there at first, and he's got a pretty aggressive lead.
Got to be careful. Seymour won't even check him back. He'll bring the next pitch home, and that one will miss high and outside. So he's fallen far behind Goodhart here. It'll be a 3-0 count. And of course, the ever dangerous Ray Gill standing on deck. His home run represents the only run of the day for the Firebirds. Seymour kicks and deals the 3-0, and that's going to be called a ball on the inner half. So 4-pitch walk here issued to Matt Goodhart, and with nobody away, the Firebirds have runners at first and second for Ray Gill.
Yeah, you wonder if maybe the error kind of getting to Seymour's head is now starting to lose command of his fastball. The walk to Goodhart, now bringing up a dangerous hitter in Gill, who sent one over the left field fence back in the second inning. He's really got to get an out here, and a double play ball could be just what the doctor ordered.
So Ray Gill, here in his second at bat, already had the biggest hit of the day for the Firebirds, and of course on the season, that was just his third home run of the year. Has four RBIs already. The big right-hander stands in righty on righty. First pitch is going to be a breaking ball, and that will just miss outside. So 5 consecutive balls here thrown by Carson Seymour.
Very similar to what we saw from Schuster last inning. Schuster was able to work out of it. Let's see if Seymour can do the same.
Something about the 4th inning has just gotten to the starters today. So with a 1-0 count, Seymour will check the runner back to second, check him again, and bring the pitch home. And the fastball will go off the helmet of Winkle, has to get around the umpire, and everybody moves up a station. So that's kind of just an unfortunate circumstance, as for one reason or another, that one got off the helmet of Pat Winkle, rolled back to the backstop, and allowed Troiani to move up to third and Goodhart to move up to second. So 2 guys in scoring position here, still nobody out.
Yeah, and that pass ball really could change the entire narrative of this inning, moving everyone up 90 feet. That's 2 in scoring position for a dangerous hitter like Gill, and now he just needs a fly ball to tie this game.
Again, Gill, not the biggest of RBI numbers coming into this game, just the 3. Added 1 to it with the home run. Here comes the pitch. And that is a fastball that will miss outside. So falling behind even further here, it's a 3-0 count.
And that's now 7 in a row that have missed the strike zone for Seymour.
So Seymour's going to have to settle down here. You get the feeling the bat's going to be on the shoulder for Ray Gill as the 3-0 comes home. And that'll be a fastball right down the pipe for strike 1.
Yeah, I'm sure he got the take sign there, but again, with the power of Gill, you had to think maybe in the back of his mind he thought about taking a rip at this one and trying to send his second home run over the fence.
So the green light is on for Gill. Here comes the 3-1 pitch, and he will foul that back to the backstop. That's got to be a sigh of relief for Carson Seymour, who still has some work to do, but he's fought back into the count, and it's now full.
Yeah, that was a good heater, catching Gill off guard, continuing to try to go with that fastball. We'll see what he goes with on 3 and 2. If I'm Gill, I'll probably sit fastball once again.
Second and third, nobody out. Mariners looking to pitch out of some trouble here as Carson Seymour comes set. Here's the payoff pitch. And that will miss high. They appeal down the line, and they say he did not go. So it's going to be another walk, and the bases are loaded for Danny Soretti.
Yeah, I'm sure this will maybe catch the attention of the bullpen. Try to get into action with a tough inning so far for Seymour, loading the bases with nobody out, and now Soretti, who was able to reach base via a single last time up, looking to try to drive home some more runs for the Firebirds.
Danny Soretti, the freshman, coming up to the plate here in a pretty big spot. Bases are loaded, nobody out. Orleans trailing by 1. He's going to drive this one into center, but right at the center fielder, who's going to make the throw home. It's Marshak all the way to the plate, and he didn't quite get him in time. Max Marshak just made a heck of a throw from center field. Winkle was there for the tag, but it's not quite in time. And that is huge as the game is now tied. Coming across to score is Triani. Everybody else stays where they're at. So Goodhart stays at second. Gill stays at first. Colin, what a throw by Marshak, though.
Yeah, I mean, it was a tough play to make, considering that He was playing relatively deep. The ball was hit hard. He didn't really have time to set his feet, but he was able to catch it and just whip this thing towards Winkle at the plate. But just a little bit too much speed from Troyani, able to get there in time and tie the game. But again, wasn't for a lack of trying by the outfielder Marichak.
I think almost anybody else makes a dash home, they might get thrown out, but as you mentioned, just too much speed for Troyani. So that'll bring Shea Whitcomb up. He grounded into a double play his first time on, and he'll take the first pitch, a ball down in the dirt.
Definitely not the worst case scenario, having that be a sac fly, because now, since nobody was able to move up, the double play is still a possibility and get out of the inning with just limited damage.
Yep. Still an opportunity for Whitcomb to cause some havoc. This one will miss high and away. So it's a 2-0 count. Seymour continuing to struggle to find the zone here. He had thrown 7 consecutive pitches outside of the strike zone before fighting back on Danny Soretti, who lined to center. Whitcomb digs in, the 2-0 count. And he is going to take this one high to left field. Weimer will settle under it, and he'll be right there to make the catch for out number 2.
Yeah, Whitcomb kind of caught that ball in on the hands. He wasn't able to get his bat around in time. Made some decent contact and got the ball pretty deep out in the left field, but had he been able to get his barrel on it, I think we're talking about a 5-2 game right there.
So that'll bring Rob Emery back up to the plate. He grounded out to end the second inning in his only at bat today. Orleans trying to maybe take the lead here as they've evened things up at 2 apiece in the 4th inning. Sun peeking its way back out here through the clouds. Carson Seymour to deliver the first pitch. It'll be an off speed there that'll miss outside to Emery for ball 1.
Yeah, and Emery was actually Max Troyani's teammate with the New Bedford Bay Sox last year in the NECBL.
So those two now find themselves on opposite sides as the 1-0 pitch from Seymour is delivered, and swinging right through it is Rob Emery.
And in fact, Emery actually had one at-bat with the Harwich Mariners at the end of the summer. So, playing against his former team.
Yep, trying to cause some damage here against the Harwich Mariners, who currently sit in the basement of the East, but only back by 2.5 games to these Orleans Firebirds. Seymour taking a good long look at second. He'll bring the pitch home, and that will be fouled away. Back to the backstop by Rob Emery. So finally, Seymour finds himself in a pitcher's count. It'll be 1-2 here as Emery has fallen behind.
And like I said before, I'm sure he'll take giving up just the lone run in an inning where he really wasn't having the best of command.
So Emery trying to fight this off. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. And that breaking ball will just miss the zone. They're going to call that down around the knees. So you can kind of see that Seymour appealing to the official, asking where he wants that pitch.
Yeah, he's probably like, what do I have to do to get out of this inning?
Talking to Joe Caraco behind home plate. So the count is even at 2-2. Emery digs in, Seymour kicks and fires. And that'll miss high. So the count is full here, and reverse to what we saw on the last at-bat. Emery falls behind here as the hitter and then works his way back into the count. So full count coming up here on him. Seymour still working out of the stretch. Still Matt Goodhart at second. Still Ray Gill at first. 2 away here in the 4th. Tied up at 2-2. Here comes the payoff pitch. Runners get a head start. That one's going to be chopped foul. Back past the outstretched arm of Cam Thompson at third, and we'll do it again.
Yeah, with the runners going, a ball in the gap could potentially bring 2 to the plate. Decent amount of speed at first by Gill. Not exactly the fastest guy out there, but with the running start, you never know.
Just 2 RBIs on the year for Rob Emery. He'd like to change that here. Seymour ready with another 3-2 pitch. Runners go. That will miss. And it's going to be another walk here for Carson Seymour. And once again, the bases are loaded.
And a golden opportunity for Josh Zamora. We'll see if he can not only give his team the lead, but perhaps break this game open as pitching coach Jeff Neiman heading out to the mound to talk to his pitcher Seymour.
Yeah, and you wonder how much longer they're going to allow Seymour to labor for out there, as this inning has kind of been the one that's gotten to him. Take a look at what he did so far. It started off with an error as not able to make the throw all the way from across the diamond was Cam Thompson. After that, he walked Matt Goodhart. He walked Ray Gill to load the bases. Danny Soretti lined out to center, and that brought Troyoni home. And then Shea Whitcomb flew out. So things were looking pretty good, but Rob Emery's walk loads the bases up once again. And in all that, they've only given up the one run. So not the worst scenario in the world if you're the Harwich Mariners right now, but definitely trying to prevent any more damage from being done, as another run coming across would put them at a deficit.
And I don't think there's many guys out there you'd rather have as your pitching coach to calm you down out there than Jeff Neiman. I mean, he's been in this situation before plenty of times, spending 5 years in the majors, drafted 4th overall in 2004. He knows what it's like to be in these tough innings.
Zamora lined out his first time up, and he swings at the first pitch he sees. That one's going to be driven out there into right center field. Joey Weimer comes in, and he'll glove it for out number 3. So the Mariners are able to avoid what could have been a disaster. Orleans leaves the bases loaded, and the one run comes across. We're knotted up at 2, so we head to the 5th inning. More baseball coming your way. You're listening to the Harwich Mariners Baseball Radio Network. In an inning that, amazingly enough, did not feature a single hit, the Orleans Firebirds able to load the bases up twice, but Colin only able to get one run across, and we're still tied up at 2-2.
Yeah, and you got to kind of cut your losses in that inning and take some positives out of what could have been a lot worse if you're the Harwich Mariners. Sure, the 2-0 lead is now gone after that one run, able to tie it up, but there's plenty of baseball left. It seems like the weather's going to hold off, and you just got to get the bats going once again.
So Hal Hughes will step in for his second at bat of the day. He grounded out to second his first time up, and the first pitch that he sees is going to be in there for a called strike. Back to work is Jared Schuster. This one's going to be flied out to left field. Plenty of time to settle under it and make the catch for Troyani out there in left. One away. So that will bring up Cam Thompson, who today is 0 for 1. He grounded out to shortstop to lead the third inning off. It was a 1-2-3 inning for Schuster back in the third, and here he comes home with the first pitch. That one's going to be fouled, actually skied high in the air, right under Zamora, who will glove it for out number 2.
Oh, very quick start. I think that's 3 pitches and 2 outs for the Mariners, so trying to stay aggressive at the plate, but they're really helping out Schuster with these 2 quick outs. But going back to the top of the order, and Marshak trying to get his first hit with the Mariners.
Marshak in the leadoff spot today. This will be his third at bat. So far, 0 for 2 with a couple of strikeouts. And Coach Englert likes putting guys who are new in the top of the lineup. Jacob Hurtubise led off for his Harwich debut. Max Marshak leading off here in his. A couple others previously in the year as well as players began to trickle in, as this pitch will be fouled off home plate. So it's an 0-2 count here on Max Marshak, trying to avoid going down on strikes for a third time today. Brewster has cleared the line. They are up 2-1 on YD. That game is through 5, so that'll go official today no matter what happens. This one is going to be hit softly right back at the pitcher. Schuster will throw over to first. It's a high throw, but it's in time to get Marshak for out number 3. So it's a 6-pitch inning for Jared Schuster. Quickly in, quickly out. The Mariners unable to find any runs. We're still knotted up at 2, so we head to the home half of the 5th. You're listening to Harwich Baseball on the Mariners Radio Network. Back to baseball here from Eldridge Park. Tyler Henry alongside Colin Casey as we head to the home half of the 5th inning. Orleans was able to get the bases loaded twice, but only brought one across in the 4th. And after all of that, being brought back out to pitch another inning is Carson Seymour. We've seen this a time or two this year as well, Colin. There's a lot of confidence in the starting pitching out of Coach Steve Engler.
And to Seymour's credit about that last inning, despite putting 3 guys on via the walk, the only run that came home was an unearned run that was on base via an error by Cam Thompson. So he didn't really give up anything too big. He didn't give up any hits, so enough confidence to send him back out there to start the bottom of the 5th.
So we'll see what he's got in store and what he's got left in the tank. First pitch is going to be a fastball ripped up back the middle, and that will get down right in front of Lala out there in center field. So it's a leadoff hit to start the inning for Lala. And as you mentioned, back in that 4th inning, not a single base knock. All of them came via errors or walks. So a runner on base that has been earned here, and that'll bring up Zach Kokoska for a 3rd time. He's 0 for 2.
Yeah, both teams in this 5th inning a lot more aggressive at the plate, swinging at the 1st and 2nd pitches. Lala gets a good pitch hit, ripped it right back up the middle for a leadoff single.
So it's the first not-infield hit of the day, with the exception of the home run for Orleans. Breaking ball is going to get in there for strike 1 to Kokoska. Kokoska grounded out back in the 1st, lined out to 3rd back in the 3rd. Now hitting with a runner on base and nobody out. Orleans knotted up at 2 apiece. Seymour sets, checks the runner, here comes the pitch. And that's going to be a breaking ball that misses right around the cleats to even the count at 1-1.
And Kokoska in high school was putting up some Tony Gwynn-esque numbers as he went over 100 consecutive at-bats without striking out.
He doesn't go down via the K very often. So far, he's avoided doing that today as well. Still looking for his first hit. Lala on first. He'll take off. Winkle's going to throw down to 2nd. A good throw, and that one's going to be in time. So Pat Winkle catches Jordan Lala trying to swipe 2nd for the first out of the inning.
Yeah, and I could see out of the corner of my eye why he was out. He got a terrible jump. He kind of waited until about a half a second after Seymour made his move towards home, and that gave Winkle plenty of time to make a great throw, and he was out by a good step and a half.
So for a 3rd time today, Kokoska's going to hit with nobody out, or nobody on, I should say. He'll hit this one into left field, and that is going to be over the wall for another home run. Zach Kokoska goes yard over the left field fence. It looked like it might have been foul, but it's able to get well in play, and the Orleans Firebirds have reclaimed the lead.
Well, that's what's going to happen when you have such a short fence out there in left field. It's only 300 down the left field line, and both lefties and righties taking advantage as 2 of the 3 home runs coming by left-handed hitters. That time it was Kokoska sending one over the left field fence, and the Mariners are actually pretty fortunate that it wasn't a 2-run shot with Lala being thrown out stealing the pitch before.
I was about to say, Lala getting knocked out just 1 pitch before, as you said, was huge. As now Max Troiani will stand in. His 3rd at bat today. Reached on an error and an infield single. He'll take one back up the middle for another hit. So the hit parade continues here. All 3 guys that have come up in the inning have reached via a base hit. Of course, Kokoska with a home run, and then 2 singles, 1 for Lala, now 1 for Troiani.
Yeah, now Troiani reaching base in all 3 plate appearances, 2 singles and an error. He ended up coming around to score on that error last inning. And neither of these teams really up there in home run numbers. They're kind of in the middle of the pack, but we've seen 3 combined early in this game.
Big swing and a miss on the first pitch for Matt Goodhart, who comes to the plate 0 for 1 today. Flew out in his 1st inning, reached on a walk, and then moved over on a pass ball, but didn't go any further than 2nd back in the 4th. So hitting in back-to-back innings here. Runner on first, still 1 away, or still nobody out for the Mariners here in the 5th. That's going to be lifted high into left field. Weimer will have time to settle under that, and he will make the catch for out number 1.
Yeah, much needed first out after a rough start to the inning for Seymour. And so now it'll be Gill, one of the 3 players to go yard in this game. Back in the 2nd, it was just a solo shot. And that's why the Mariners are pretty lucky that they haven't had guys on base when they've been hitting these home runs.
And so far, the Mariners still looking for their first guy to have 2 home runs on the season. They've kind of spread the load out. 6 different guys with 1 home run, nobody with 2. But Ray Gill looking for another big hit. He is 1 for 1 with a solo shot, reached on a walk back in the 4th. And the first pitch he sees is going to be a called strike on a breaking ball. So they left Carson Seymour out there after laboring a lot in the fourth inning, and that move may not be paying off here as they've already lost the lead. But Seymour still out there, still a runner on first, still one away. Here comes the pitch to Gill, and he will foul that one off.
Gill actually riding a 6-game hitting streak, which he continued yesterday with a double.
He's behind here 0-2 to Carson Seymour.
He actually extended it to 7 with the home run earlier in the game, so it's now a week's worth of games that he's gotten a base hit in.
Here comes the 0-2 pitch, and that's going to miss high. Fastball up, and it'll be a 1-2 count here on Ray Gill. As you mentioned, has just found ways to get on base. In several of his last games, he's riding that 7-game hitting streak and trying to expand it a little bit more here, make this an even bigger game within it. Seymour kicks and delivers the 1-2. Breaking ball, fouled away back into the Orleans dugout. So the count stays where it is.
Gill also drafted out of high school in the 37th round by Oakland back in 2017. And he did play with Team USA on the U14, 15, and 17 teams.
So a lot of valuable experience in bringing that here to the Cape Cod Baseball League. So watch another curveball miss outside. And Colin, I don't think we've seen the changeup out of Carson Seymour in quite some time. We saw it earlier on in this game, but it seems like it's just been fastball, curveball for the last couple of innings.
And I'm a little surprised by that because it seemed like the very few times he threw the changeup, it looked like it was working. He's kind of strayed away from it and just gone to 2 pitches.
Here's a fastball that'll miss up and out. So the count is 3-2 here. Once again, it's been worked full by another Orleans hitter. 3-2 the count, runner on first, 1 away. Mariners looking to avoid more of a disaster, and that's going to be swung on and missed for strike 3, and that's actually the 3rd out of the inning. So we go to the 6th. Mariners will be up to bat when we come back on the other side of the break. You're listening to Harwich Baseball on the Mariners Radio Network. Welcome back to Eldridge Park. Tyler Henry alongside Colin Casey, and a pitching change being made here by the Firebirds. They're going to go to Isaac Escueda out of the pen, out of USC. And Colin, get some numbers on Isaac Escueda.
Yeah, so this past season, he made a pretty decent amount of appearances, just over a dozen. And with a 3-5 record, he had a 3.94 ERA, so ERA just below 4. And he's been pretty impressive. He actually got off to a little bit of a rocky start in the season, but had some quality starts and bullpen appearances in the month of May, including a 6 1/3 inning start where he gave up 4 runs, only 2 of them earned, struck out 7.
So he'll look to start things off on a good note here against the Harwich Mariners lineup that once again struck early and has kind of struggled since then. So Escueda out there, the big lefty out of USC. And the first guys he will face will be Chris Gallen, Daniel Cabrera, and Nico Cavadas. So far, that part of the order, officially I should say, 1 for 6 with a walk and a stolen base. A run scored by Cavadas off the double back in the second. See what Escada has in store here. He'll work out of the windup to start the inning, so not one of those guys that likes going out of the stretch right off the bat. And Escada's first pitch is going to be bunted right back to him. He'll have time to pick that one up. Nobody covering first, and they're going to just narrowly get back in time. Gill kind of came off like he was going to make the play from first base. Escada comes over and picks it up, and he's able to flip to Gill, who just narrowly gets back to first ahead of the speedy Chris Galland for out number one.
Yep, and just like the end of the fifth on a pitcher to first baseman put out, this inning starting off the same way.
So that will bring Daniel Cabrera up to the dish. 0 for 1 today. Also reached on a walk back in the fourth inning. So far, Escada's thrown one pitch. He's gotten one out. And he will get Cabrera to swing through that one. A fastball with a lot of velocity on it up in the zone for strike one. Cabrera trying to get something started for the Mariners, who do trail it in this one. They're down 3-2. Here comes the pitch, and that will miss down in the dirt. So the count is even at one apiece here.
And we know Cabrera is a threat for power. He has won this season against Hyannis. And just 314 right down the line, so if he's able to yank one, should be able to get one over the fence with his power.
1-1 pitch, big sweeping breaking ball. That's going to be in there for strike two. So a 12-6 action there, and pretty good pickup by Escada. Still working out of the windup, a pretty slow delivery, and he'll bring it home. And that one will miss outside. Take him off speed once again. The count is even at 2-2. So a lot of good off-speed pitches being mixed in here with a fastball that's got some pretty good velocity. Escada has one of the better sets of pitches here in the league, and here comes the pitch. Once again, try to get him with the 12-6. That'll miss low. So the count is full here for Daniel Cabrera, who's already walked once today.
Yep, and with the full count, we'll see if he's able to pick up that first hit.
Nobody on. Mariners looking to get something started. Here comes the payoff pitch. There's the 12-6. Cabrera's going to take that one into deep center field, trying at the warning track and making the catch as Lala out there in center field right around the 434 sign for the second out of the inning.
Yeah, and pretty much in any other ballpark, I think that ball might be getting out, but as you mentioned, the very deep center field, jutting all the way out to 434 straight away, and that was plenty enough room for Lala, who's got plenty of speed to track that ball down for out number two.
So that'll bring Nico Cavadas back up to the dish for a third time today. He's 1 for 2, a double and a strikeout, a run scored back in the second. First pitch he sees is that breaking ball that'll miss low. Escada's got to be careful with that pitch, because if you leave that thing up in the zone, that is the easiest pitch for a guy to take the other way. Can very easily drop one over the fence. Cavadas will see a fastball that'll miss high, and the count's a 2-0 here.
Mariners held without a hit over the last 3 2/3 innings, so since the 2-run home run by Acton, quiet bats for the M's.
Yep, the 2 runners they have gotten on since then have been via the walk, as this one fastball will be fouled away. Cavadas makes the count 2-1. Escada's looked awfully good here in the early parts of this one. Again, that slow windup, and then the second he's ready with the pitch, he fires it in quickly. Fastball is going to miss low, but it's swung on anyway by Cavadas, who's even the count at 2-2 here.
And coming into this game, you look across the board at both hitting and pitching stats, and these teams are really close to each other in that regard, but Orleans just managing to win more ball games. They've won 8, Harwich with just 7.
2-2, swung on and missed on the breaking ball, and Nico Cavadas for a second time today is down on strikes. 3 up, 3 down for the Mariners. We go to the home half of the 6th. It'll be the Orleans bats looking to add a few insurance runs. After this, you're listening to Mariners Baseball on the Harwich Radio Network. Back to baseball here at Eldridge Park. Tyler Henry alongside Colin Casey, and a pitching change to be made here is Cam Bauman from the University of Iowa will come in to try to clean things up. It's only a one-run deficit for the Mariners, trying to hold that there, and Bauman has been one of the better pitchers when it comes to throwing deep into games. So far, he's appeared twice, 3 innings for him. He's yet to give up a single run. 5 strikeouts, has yet to give up a walk. He's only allowed 1 hit. That's the only base runner that has been put on, but he'll have a tough task here as he will face off against the Orleans Firebirds lineup that, I mean, at the end of the day, they've gotten it done when it's mattered. A couple of home runs for them so far, and that's a part of the reason why they lead it here 3-2 as we go to the home half of the 6th.
Yeah, and the line on Seymour in position to receive the loss if he can't get some run support. 5 innings, 5 hits, 3 runs, 2 of them earned. He walked 3 and he struck out 2. 1 strikeout to start his outing and 1 to finish it.
So the first pitch from Bauman will be a fastball that'll miss low. Take a look into his pocket at what he's got to throw. Just 2 pitches, a fastball that comes in between 83 and 90, or 88 and 91, and a knuckle curve. So an interesting mix of pitches. He comes back to the fastball. It's taken at Hal Hughes at short, who collects it and throws on to first in time for out number 1.
Yeah, Hughes been a busy man out there at short. Seems like everything getting hit up the middle by these Firebird hitters.
He's seen action in 4 of the 6 innings that have been played so far, so has definitely had plenty of work to do over there at shortstop. That'll bring Shea Whitcomb up to the dish. He's 0 for 2, grounded out into a couple of double plays, or into 1 double play, and was the only guy to not make a productive out back in the 4th as he flew out to left. Here he'll watch the first pitch. It's the off speed, and that'll miss low and inside, but he takes a cut at it in there for strike 1.
Would come from UC San Diego. Despite going to school there, he's a big fan of the Dodgers.
0-1 pitch is going to be taken to third, diving and past the outstretched arm of Thompson over there at third. So that'll be another base hit here for the Firebirds. Pretty good effort by Cam Thompson, but diving to his left, just unable to get the leather on it. And it's another knock here for the Orleans.
And that's actually the first hit coming from the bottom of the Orleans lineup, the 7, 8, and 9 hitters. The only person to reach base prior to that single is a man stepping in, Rob Emery, who walked in his last plate appearance.
So Emery here in his 3rd at bat of the day, 0 for 1 with the walk, as you mentioned, back in the 4th. Runner on first, 1 away here in the inning. And the first pitch from Bauman will miss low and inside for ball 1. Sun's still up here. The clouds have turned from dark gray to light white. So it looks like for the time being, we're safe from the rain. Hopefully that continues. This one will miss low and inside for ball 2. It ultimately won't matter as we're here in the 6th inning. Things will be official one way or the other, but hopefully we can get through a full game without any more rain than the few drops we saw earlier back in the 3rd. Here comes the pitch. That'll be tipped foul, wrapped behind Pat Winkle. And the count is 3, actually count is 2-1 here.
And this would be a huge, huge win for Orleans, especially if YD loses, because they would be in sole possession at first when it comes to win total in the East.
Yep, YD right now playing at Brewster. They had to go up against the Brewster ace and Joswiak. This one's going to be taken back to 3rd, and that'll get past Thompson again, so everybody moves up a station. And with 1 away, it's 1st and 2nd here for Orleans, who, Colin, while they've only scored 3 runs, it seems like they've had base runners left and right in this game.
Yep, and here's a guy who actually had a lot of guys on base the last time he stepped in. He had the bases loaded with 2 away, and that was Josh Zamora, but he was unable to drive any home as he flew out to left. Let's see if he's able to find a gap or get a ball into the outfield and try to have a productive at-bat with 1 away.
Good news out of our Western affiliate, as this first pitch from Bauman is in there for a strike to Josh Zamora. We have baseball being played out there in Hyannis as the Harbor Hawks are taking on the Bourne Braves. That game is actually in progress, and currently it's a 2-1 lead for Brewster over YD. Bauman facing off against Zamora again. Here comes his pitch, and that will miss low and inside to count to 1-1. Zamora hitting .320 just a season ago, so a pretty good line for him during the 2019 season, and now trying to expand on that here during the summer. Righty on lefty here. Bauman trying to get out of a little bit of trouble. One away, runners on first and second. Here comes the pitch. And once again, the off speed will miss low. So the count to 2-1 here.
Yeah, Bauman 3 innings on the season, all scoreless. In fact, he'd only given up 1 hit in those 2 appearances coming into this game. He has since given up 2 in 3 batters.
Hadn't walked anybody either, so he's already put 2 men, or double what he had coming into this game on base here in the first couple of hitters. This one's going to be swung on and taken into left field. They'll send the runner around as that will get down. Holding up at second base is Emery, but Whitcomb comes around to score easily, and the Firebirds have doubled their lead. They're on top, 4-2.
Well, I'd mentioned when Whitcomb had that single that it was the first hit by the 7, 8, 9 hitters in this game. They've now delivered 3 straight singles, and now all of a sudden you head back to the top of the order, and the 1, 2, and 3 hitters who have really done most of the damage now with an opportunity to extend this lead even further as it's now at 2.
Yep, the hit parade continues as Jordan Lala will come up to the dish here. He is 1 for 3, got his base hit the last time he came up to bat. Still runners at first and second with 1 away, and a breaking ball will miss outside from Cam Bauman. So we did something that we had not done since the beginning of the Cape Cod Baseball League season here in 2019, and that's have everybody in the league go 3 games in a row without getting rained out. As laying down a bunt here, hard to third base, picked up by Cam Thompson, who throws across the diamond, not in time. It's going to be an infield single for Jordan Lala, and the bases are loaded for Zach Kokoska, who went yard back in the 5th.
And you know, I love this call by the Firebirds here, catching the Mariners off guard with the way they've been hitting the ball this inning. 3 straight hard hit singles, and now playing a little bit of small ball, dropping one down the third base side, and with Lala's speed, you can forget about any chance at getting him out. And so in steps Kokoska, who hit a home run in his last at-bat, a big power threat at the plate.
So this could be a very risky spot. Bases loaded, 1 away for Cam Bauman. Infield at double play depth, corners are in. This one's going to be skied high in the air. Cam Thompson will have a chance to settle under that, and he will make the catch in foul territory. 4 out, number 2.
Yep, infield fly rule actually in effect with that ball not making it out to the outfield grass is an easy play for Thompson, and somewhere out there Atlanta Braves fans are kind of cringing at the fact that that one was called infield fly.
So that will bring Max Troiani up to the dish. He has reached base in all 3 of his at-bats, came across the score back in the 4th. A couple of singles and reached on an error in the 4th. First pitch misses low and inside, but the trouble hopefully near an end for the Mariners. They trail by 2, but with 2 away, they can put the inning out.
Yeah, and it's a guy at the plate who's reached base all 3 plate appearances, so definitely no slouch at the plate.
This pitch will miss low in the dirt. Winkle picks it up, and the count is 2-0. So Troiani is 2 for 2. Looking to maybe pad some more insurance runs on here. Big opportunity coming up for him. Bauman comes home with a 2-0, and that'll miss as well, so he's at risk of potentially walking a run in here. It'll be a 3-0 count on Troiani.
Yeah, this would not be the ideal time for your first walk of the season with the bases loaded and 2 away.
Gonna have to be awfully careful. We'll see whether they leave the hit sign on for Troiani or not. Here comes the 3-0, and that will miss low. Ball 4, and a run has been walked in here for the Mariners. The Orleans lead is up to 3 now.
Yeah, you can't really compound things here by giving up free base runners, not being able to find the plate at all. Just a frustrating inning for Bauman, who had such a great first 3 innings with the Mariners, now giving up 2 runs so far, and the danger not over with Ray Gill digging in.
Yeah, that'll very quickly take Coach out there to have a word with Bauman. So the bases are loaded. A run comes across to score. It's Rob Emery, and really quickly, let's update you on the stations. Josh Zamora moves over to 3rd, Lala up to 2nd, and Troiani will take 1st.
And it looks like we actually have a pinch hitter at the plate.
They do. Well, no, it's Matt Goodhart. Number 2.
I had him down as 29 for some reason. I don't know where I got the 9 from. My apologies.
So Goodhart, the DH today, is already 0 for 2 today. He reached on a walk, and the first pitch he sees is going to just miss low as Bauman, after a lengthy conversation with Coach Berger, back out there again. Bases loaded, 2 away. Trying to get out of this inning that has turned into a long one as this one will miss down in the dirt. So again, similar to what we saw out of Carson Seymour, now 6 straight balls out of the zone here for Cam Bauman.
I would like the press to know that Point Streak lied to me and says he's 29, so that's where I got the 29 from.
Fair enough. Here comes the 2-0. That's going to be in there for a called strike. So Bauman gets a little bit back here.
And this is the 8th batter at the plate this inning for Orleans is Gill, looking to try to make it, or trying to bat around if he's given the opportunity. And
a balk. So that is somehow the worst thing that could have happened there. It could have been a walk, but yeah, a balk from Cam Bauman out there on the hill, and that's going to bring another run across the score as Josh Zamora will cross home plate.
Yep, things just going from bad to worse this inning.
So Lala up to third as this one's tipped foul back into the glove of Winkle. And Troyani up to second. For as amazing as Harwich pitching has been this year, it's been a rough couple of innings for the Mariners out there on the bump. And now stepping off to think things over is Cam Bauman. Goodhart standing in. Here comes the pitch. And that'll miss low and outside. So it's a 3-2 count here. The count has been loaded on Matt Goodhart. Payoff pitch pending, but a couple of runners in scoring position here for Orleans. Here comes the payoff. And that one's going to be hit hard, but right at Hal Hughes, who picks it up and throws across to finally end the inning, but not before 3 more runs come across for Orleans. They are on top, 6-2, a 4-run lead for the Firebirds. When we come back, it'll be the 7th inning of play after this. You're listening to Harwich Baseball on the Mariners Radio Network. Welcome back to Eldridge Park. Tyler Henry alongside Colin Casey here on the Mariners Radio Network. I'd like to remind you that today's game is brought to you by Cape Cod Healthcare. What's donated here stays here. All blood that is donated by Cape Cod Healthcare stays on Cape Cod to help the lives of your friends, family, and neighbors. Learn more about donating blood, platelets, or hosting a blood drive at capecodhealth.org/blood center.
So another big inning for the Orleans Firebirds as they score for the 3rd inning in a row, but this time putting up 3 runs after a hit parade put with 4 hits, a couple of RBI singles, and then a balk bringing home a run. And with that, it is now 6-2 Orleans ahead of the Harwich Mariners as 5, 6, and 7 hitters due up for Harwich. Joey Weimer will lead things off. He's 0 for 2 with a couple of strikeouts.
Yeah, it was a pretty manageable situation for Harwich early on in that inning as they gave up 1 run with Shea Whitcomb coming across the plate. But after that, it looked like they could still get back into it. And obviously a lot of baseball to play as this one is in there for a called strike. But yeah, certainly going to be an uphill climb, now trailing by 4.
Weimer from the University of Cincinnati. The 0-1 misses outside as back out for his 2nd inning of work is Isaac Escada. Pitched a clean 6th, and it's currently 7 in a row retired by Orleans pitching, dating back to the 4th. 1-1 chopped foul over the dugout.
Yeah, and for Weimer, we talk about this in several different games, but it seems like whenever he's having a tough day at the plate, he finds a way to break out of it later on. If he doesn't get on early in the game, he gets on late in the game, and we've seen him pour things on in his 3rd and 4th at-bats before. So see if he can put a charge into one here and spark a little offensive revolution here for the Mariners.
Breaking ball hammered down the left field line, foul, as he was well out in front of it, but he gave it a pretty good ride.
Yep, just trying to straighten things out. And it looks like Weimer, I mean, again, from here, it seems like he's been swinging for the fences a little bit today. He's definitely put a big swing into a few of these as opposed to just trying to make contact. So we'll see whether he shortens up on his swing a little bit here.
1-2, swing and a miss, strike three, and it's the hat trick for Joey Weimer. Strikes out for the third time, one away.
So coming up will be Corey Acton here in his second game as a Harwich Mariner. Had the solo shot back in the second and reached on a walk in the fourth, so 1 for 1 today. His team trailing big here in the seventh.
Let's make it now 8 in a row retired by Firebirds pitching. But Acton looking to continue to reach base after doing so in his first 2 plate appearances. He swings at the first pitch and is fouled. Nice play over in the Orleans dugout. 0-1.
Yeah, not only have they shut 8 guys in a row down, but since the solo home run from Corey Acton, they haven't had a hit.
Got to go all the way back to the second inning. The 0-1. Way late on the fastball, 0-2, and Escada in his debut looking very strong, trying to finish his 5th straight batter in a row.
And another guy that it's interesting that he's making his debut this late into the season, not a team that went deep into the College World Series, but taking some time off has clearly helped him.
Breaking ball missed just low. So it'll be a 1-2 count with the lefty Pat Winkle waiting in the on-deck circle. From the windup, Escada delivers. And that ball fouled straight back into the street.
And you got to be careful back there, as we've got a road sitting directly behind us. But, I mean, that's a spot where you could get a foul ball in the windshield if you're not careful enough. Of course, some cars parked out there in left field if somebody gives it a deep enough ride.
Breaking ball misses low, and Eldridge Park, of course, over a century old now. Built not too long after Fenway Park was built. That was back in 1912. I believe it was 1914 this field was constructed. 2-2 is in there for a called strike 3, and that is now 3 consecutive strikeouts dating back to last inning for Isaac Escada, and 2 down in the top of the 7th.
Yep, and this will be the part of the order that has struggled more than anybody else today, as 7, 8, 9 have gone 0 for 6 so far in this one.
So Winkle, who flew out to right and grounded out to second, that fly out to right in the second inning actually was hit pretty well, probably just about 7 or 8 feet shy of being a back-to-back home run situation. He hits this ball on the ground to first. Gill will field it, covering his Escada. The flip is in time, and it is another 1-2-3 inning for Orleans pitching, and the Mariners go down in order. After 6.5 innings, it is Orleans 6, Harwich 2. You're listening to the Mariners Radio Network. New pitcher to tell you about for the Harwich Mariners, and they're going to go with the lefty out of Elon University, number 7, Jared Weatherby, who is in his 3rd appearance on the season. So far, 2 shutout innings with the Mariners, giving up just 1 hit while striking out 3. So Tyler definitely going to one of their better relievers here to try to minimize the damage, as the Mariners trailing to the Firebirds right now, 6-2.
Yeah, and so far his length hasn't really been tested, but in the innings that he has gotten, he's looked awfully good. He's been brought in the 2 games that you mentioned where he only pitched the 1 inning, but Similar to Cam Bauman, he gave up one hit. He's not given up a walk yet. Lower strikeout numbers for him, but clearly those numbers not always holding up, especially against an Orleans offense that has really started to find itself here. So we'll see whether he can keep the deficit right where it's at, but the Mariners have to get the bats going if they're going to give themselves a chance here in this one.
So Weatherby will be greeted by the 5, 6, and 7 hitters Gill, Soretti, and Whitcomb. And Gill is 1 for 2 in the afternoon with a home run in the second, a solo shot, a walk in the fourth, and a strikeout swinging to end the fifth. Gill, the only member of the Firebirds starting 9 not to bat last inning, as Orleans was able to put up 3. That's now 5 runs in 3 innings for the Firebirds in a game in which they trailed 2-0 back in the top of the second. So Weatherby working from the windup, and the lefty's first pitch misses outside.
Yep, and out of Jared Weatherby, another guy that keeps it relatively simple. Fastball splitter, circle change. So a lot of movement on the off-speed pitches. You're going to see a ton of break when he does bring it home with that speed.
Weatherby trying to keep the ball down, but a little bit too low. They count now 2-0 to the dangerous Gill.
And it seems like Weather is held off on the Cape. The other 3 games, I should say, will be in progress, and it looks like everybody's going to get through with the exception of Chatham and Falmouth today.
Pitch on the outside corner for a strike. Yeah, the torrential downpour is just washing away the field out west. And those two unable to get that game in, so be rescheduled at a later date. And this big swing and a miss for strike 2 by Gill, as he's looking to add to his home run total.
Yeah, definitely looking to pad an insurance run on here all by himself, but swings right through it, and that'll bring Weatherby back in here for another pitch.
Gill, one of several players in the CCBL with 3 homers on the season. So 2-2 misses outside, 3-2.
Yeah, Weatherby spent last summer out there with the Charlottesville Tom Sox, but ultimately his numbers improved greatly between 2018 and 2019. The ERA dropping down to just 3 with a whip of just above 1.07.
And the 3-2 is on the outside corner for strike 3, and Gill can't believe it. He looks back at the umpire in disgust and heads straight to the dugout. So first batter that Weatherby faces, he strikes out looking, 1 away here in the home half of the 7th.
Yeah, Gill was already jogging over to first base and kind of turned around in disbelief, but that'll bring up Danny Soretti, who today is 1 for 3. Reached on an infield single back in the second inning following the Ray Gill home run.
Soretti out of Berkeley Heights, New Jersey. First pitch from Weatherby is chopped up the middle. Weatherby can't get there in time. It's going to be a tough play, and unable to make a throw in time is Corey Acton. It's going to be an infield single for Soretti, and with 1 away, the Orleans Firebirds once again have a base runner.
And that is the 4th infield single of the day for Orleans. They have just been an absolute terror on the base paths as they find a way to get another runner on board, and that'll bring Shea Whitcomb up to the plate.
Yeah, now is the 7, 8, and 9 hitters coming up. All 3 of them reaching base via a single last inning, and actually, if you go back to the top of the order, it was 7, 8, 9, and 1 with 4 straight hits, and all 3 of the 7, 8, 9 hitters coming home to score in the inning. First pitch from Weatherby from the stretch misses outside.
Yeah, and I mean the Mariners once again, they get on the board early, but after that the offense just kind of sputtering out. 2 hits for 2 runs, including a 2-run home run in the second inning. And since then, they've only found 2 runners on base. Both have come via walks.
Weatherby, long look in. Now the pitch. And it'll just miss low below the knees. And you have to wonder if maybe we spoke a little too soon about the weather, as dark clouds continuing to move in from what looks like the south. Weatherby a look over at first. Now the delivery runner going. Big swing and a miss. The throw down by Winkle is there, and he is out. So Soretti gets thrown out trying to steal a bag. The second man that Winkle is thrown out in this one, and now the bases are empty with 2 down in the bottom of the 7th.
Tell you what, Patrick Winkle is trying really hard today to flip the script on the scouting report that guys have gotten on him here in the Cape League, and that might be that you can just take a base on this guy. In the first couple of games, we've seen him in the behind the dish. It seems like guys have been taking second. We've seen a few good throws, but for the most part, people able to steal at will. But so far today, he's gunned down both guys that have tried to go, and that might make people think twice before trying to steal on him in the future.
So the base is empty now for Whitcomb, and that pitch misses high. The count now at 3-1. Whitcomb with 3 RBIs yesterday, but today only 1 for 3 with a run scored. Still a respectable day at the office so far. And Weatherby's 3-1. Swing and a miss, strike 2.
Yep, Weatherby's looked awfully good getting ahead of guys early in counts, and that's been kind of his forte all year long. Pitching to contact more than getting strikeouts, but still able to stay ahead on a lot of guys, and it's led to a pretty low ERA. Yet has yet to give up an earned run this season.
Whitcomb awaiting the payoff pitch from Weatherby. Here it is. And missing high for ball 4. Good job by Whitcomb to lay off. And it's a 2-out walk for the Firebirds.
Yep, and if I'm not mistaken, that'll be the first walk of the year issued by Jared Weatherby. So that'll bring Rob Emery up to the dish. Emery has already reached and scored on a single back in the 6th inning. Also reached on a walk back in the 4th.
And through 6 innings, this Firebirds lineup, a new look lineup compared to the one we saw yesterday, already exceeding the run total of yesterday's Orleans lineup. And the first pitch to Emery is fouled straight back. Emery, one of those guys who did not play yesterday, but very productive today with a single and a walk. Came around to score last inning. Long look over by Weatherby, and he delivers. Low and outside.
Well, 4 of the 6 runs scored today by Orleans have come from guys that weren't in the starting lineup just a day ago. So the new faces have certainly worked out for the Firebirds, as they have a big 4-run lead.
Wind starting to pick up here at Eldridge Park. Pitch from Weatherby. Still missing outside. He's unable to pick that corner. So that'll move the count now to 2-1. Long look over at first once again. Now he comes home and it is fouled straight back.
Yeah, Weatherby, you look at his numbers this season, you say maybe he's a guy that pitches more to contact than in going after strikeouts, but he had just too shy of 100 strikeouts back in 2019 at Elon. Through 84 innings pitched, he had 96 Ks compared to just 22 walks, so not a guy that's going to put a lot of men on for free.
And that pitch will miss high and outside to make it 3-1. Elon, one of those Division I schools you kind of forget about in North Carolina with all the schools they have on the western part of the state. Of course, you got UNC, Duke, NC State, just to name a few. Wake Forest as well. The 3-1. In there for a called strike 3, and that will end the inning as it was actually a full count. And so Emery goes down looking to end the inning. So Weatherby, despite giving up a walk and a hit, able to get out of the inning facing just 4 batters. We've played 7 from Eldridge Park. It is Orleans 6, Harwich 2. You're listening to the Mariners Radio Network. We head to the top half of the 8th inning. It's going to be 8, 9, and 1 hitters due up for the Mariners, and Tyler, the bats have gone silent. 10 straight retired by Orleans pitching. What has really been the issue ever since the second inning for these Harwich Mariners?
I mean, we knew coming into this game that this was a phenomenal pitching staff for the Orleans Firebirds, and they've just shown that. I mean, it's not really a fundamental issue. I'm not going to sit back here and critique a guy's swing or anything like that. It's just a matter of good pitching, and Harwich has been unable to catch a few breaks. Seems like every ball they've hit hard has been right at somebody, so see whether their luck changes here as they're down to the final 6 outs potentially, but the offense should be able to swing around and come back here. They've been inconsistent this season, and it seems like they've been doing better through the first couple of innings than they have through the last couple, at least through the first 13, 14 games of the season.
Dark clouds prompting the lights to come on here at Eldridge Park. And Hal Hughes will lead things off. He's 0 for 2 with a ground out and a fly out. First pitch from Isaac Escada, swung on and missed for strike one.
Yep, so Hughes, looking to get back on track here, as you mentioned, 0 for 2 today and 0 for his last several. So he is 0 for 3 yesterday.
Breaking ball, cue shot up the first baseline. Escada, it's going to be a tough play. The throw, though, is in time as Gill able to catch it as it kind of handcuffed him. But regardless, Hughes retired for the first out of the 8th and the 11th consecutive Mariner retired.
I realize that probably wasn't intentional, but the way that ball was thrown by Escada, the glove wasn't even moved by Gill over there at first. He threw it right to where the glove was at. Gill was able to just squeeze it, and that's part of the reason that play ended up being simplified.
So now it'll be Cam Thompson, who is also 0 for 2 with a pop out to third and a ground out to short. He waves at the first pitch. Nice downward movement so far in this outing by Isaac Escada.
Yeah, Thompson was actually the one that was 0 for 3 yesterday. Hughes had a single and a stolen base a day ago, so Thompson the one that is also looking to get back on the right track here.
Breaking ball, that's in there to make it 0 and 2. And Tyler, that big out that Hughes was a part of was that play at the plate where he tried scoring from second, and it just didn't end up happening.
Yeah, not the worst idea in the world, but an excellent throw got him from center field. It's one of the better throws I think we've seen this year, other than that one from Marshak that was just not quite in time. This one is tipped past the glove of Rob Emery back behind the plate. So, yeah, I mean, good defense all around. I think Harwich, one of the better defensive teams in the league. Still sitting in the top of the league in errors committed compared to games played.
Currently second in the entire CCBL with 11 errors and 9.77 field percentage. The 0-2 is a chopper over to first base side. Gill will take it himself, and it's 2 up, 2 down to begin the 8th. So with that, we will have Max Marischak digging in, and he is 0 for 3 in his Mariners debut with a couple of strikeouts and a ground out. So looking to change that here.
Yeah, and that's kind of been the MO all season long, is now we'll have a meeting out there on the mound. It'll be Coach Kelly Nicholson coming out to have a word with his guy, and interesting time to call everybody in here. That is going to be, looks like the end of the outing?
Yeah, it appears
will be the end of the outing. So they're going to go ahead and pull Isaac Escada for a new pitcher. We'll have an update on who that is coming into the game, but an interesting time to pull Escada, as he's been basically flawless after coming into this game.
We'll have the new pitcher in just a moment. Once again, you're listening to Mariners Baseball on the Harwich Mariners Radio Network. And so the new pitcher for the Firebirds, after a strong outing out of the bullpen by Isaac Escada, it's going to be Nick Garcia out of Chapman. And Tyler, he had quite a year with a very little known school out in the D3.
Yep, out in SoCal and getting some D3 experience. But how about this? A 98 miles an hour, or 98 mile an hour fastball named D3Baseball.com's number one or first team All-American. And I mean, he has been pretty phenomenal throughout that year, as you mentioned, with them. So, he could potentially be the last or the first Chapman player to reach the MLB if he can make it since 1984.
So 35 years since we've seen someone out of that school. And Garcia looking to make a name for himself here. He's going to get an opportunity in the top of the 8th with the bases empty and 2 away. He comes in to face the leadoff hitter, Max Marshak, who once again is 0 for 3 in the game.
Yep, and of course, Harwich will get a taste of their own medicine here, as this is the first guy we've seen that'll throw with this kind of velocity out of an opposing bullpen. They've got Joe Boyle from Notre Dame who can throw upwards of 98, 99. So we'll see that here out of Garcia. It's going to be an awful lot of fastballs coming up here to the top of the lineup.
And Garcia's first pitch is in there at the knees for strike 1. This is his 6th appearance. He's gone 4 1/3 innings, allowing 3 earned. Walked 3, struck out 3, and check swing, and Max definitely going around on that one to make it count 0-2.
Yeah, and you can see the difference just in competition level between D3 and then the Cape Cod League with top players from across the nation back in 2019 at .64 ERA for Garcia, but so far this year that has jumped all the way up to 5.4.
0-2 in a late swing, fouling it right towards the Orleans dugout is Marshak.
Yeah, he barely able to keep up with the speed there. He was able to put a piece of wood on it and foul it away, but he's fallen behind here in the count. Going to have to be awfully careful and shorten up on the bat here.
Chris Galland waiting in the on-deck circle. Garcia looking to make it 13 straight retired. The pitch he does as it's swung on and missed, and for the 3rd time in this one, Max Marshak strikes out, and he retires the side on that one. So we head to the home half of the 8th. Orleans still holding on to a 4-run advantage. It is 6-2 from Eldridge Park. You're listening to Mariners Baseball on the Harwich Mariners Radio Network. To the home half of the 8th we go, as Orleans looking to add to their 6-2 advantage, and they will try to do so against a new pitcher, Tyler.
Yep, it'll be Jordan Butler here making his Harwich Mariners debut. Butler coming out of Tampa, Florida, playing for the University of Florida. He was actually drafted back by the New York Yankees in the 34th round in 2017, but here getting some valuable experience in the Cape Cod Baseball League. Take a look at what he did in 2019 with Florida, coming out of the pen primarily as a reliever, 24 2/3 of an inning pitched, a 5.1 ERA, and a whip just above 1.6, 25 strikeouts to just 11 walks. And he will have some mighty big shoes to fill, as he'll be wearing number 8, which of course was reserved for Logan Allen, who went to Team USA, arguably the best, actually I wouldn't even say arguably, the best pitcher in the Cape Cod League through the first 3 starts. But that number will be given to Jordan Butler, and the first guy he will face is number 8 on the other side. It's going to be Josh Zamora, the 9-hole hitter, who is 1 for 3 with a base hit and a run scored, 0 for 2 otherwise with a line out and a flyout.
Zamora was at the plate as the first pitch is in there for a strike. He was at the plate when a balk was called against Cam Bauman, and he ended up coming in to score as well. But he also drove in another run as that pitch is in there for strike two. So I'm wondering if that's actually 2 RBIs, considering there was a balk in there. Not exactly sure what the ruling is in terms of a run batted in when it comes to a balk. But he digs in with an 0-2 count here in the home half of the eighth. And the pitch by Butler misses inside.
Yep, Jordan Butler, pretty simple when it comes to pitches. Fastball, curveball, changeup. Pretty good velocity on the fastball.
The 1-2 from the lefty is swung on and hit in the air towards the middle of the infield. Coming in is the third baseman, Cam Thompson, and he makes the catch for out number one.
Yep, so off to a good start here, retiring the leadoff man, but now he will have to face off against the top of the order. Part of the order that is just, well, I mean, the whole order has given Harwich problems today, but the top three have been particularly good.
And Orleans coming into this game, despite playing in a field with a very short fence down each line as the first pitch misses inside to Jordan Lala. But with short fences down the left and right field line, they only had 6 home runs coming into this game. They've hit 2 tonight as that fastball misses low.
So jumping their way back into the top there as the sky's starting to darken here, sun beginning to set, but clouds have completely rolled in and overtaken us.
Pitch from Butler. Nice pitch. Has Lala way out in front of, and it's now a 2-1 count.
Yep, Lala's already struck out once today. Aside from that, a couple of singles. Laid down a bunt and reached on an infield hit back in the 6th.
2-1 and jam shot fouled off to the left.
Back onto the road. And again, just that shortened fence out here behind us. They might want to put some netting up or something back there. You wonder how many windshields have been taken out by that thing.
You also got the parking lot to worry about down the right field line. And a 2-2 is fouled straight back into the netting.
And that'll actually catch the umbrella of the home broadcast team over there. That's why we made sure to set our laptops up. I kind of pulled on the fence before we got here just to see how much give was on that net. Wouldn't want to have a baseball come in and hit my laptop.
Butler's 2-2 again is fouled off to the left. That one will catch the road as well. So losing baseballs left and right during this at-bat. Jordan Butler from the University of Florida with another 2-2. And that ball ripped into left field, a base hit down the left field line, and holding at first with a single and his third hit of the night is Jordan Lala.
And, I mean, honestly, at this point, I'm seriously questioning how it's only a 6-2 lead. It feels like Orleans should be up by far more than that. They have had just so many opportunities in this game, but another hit for Lala, and every single person in the lineup today has reached base at least once.
That's the 11th hit recorded by the Firebirds. Looking to make it a dozen is the 2-hitter, Zach Koska. Swings and misses at the first pitch. Kokoska is 1 for 4 with a home run. And he rips this ball into right field. It might have broken his bat, but it's going to be another base hit. Heading into third is Lala, and it's going to be runners at the corners with 1 away.
Yep, and they pick up right where they left off. Nobody has really been able to solve the puzzle of this Orleans Firebirds lineup today, as everybody has given up at least 1 hit. This is getting out of hand here. So now Max Troiani will come to the dish. He's already reached in all 4 of his at-bats. An infield single, a regular single, reached on an air and scored back in the 4th, and then walked in the 6th.
So with Lala on third and Kokoska on first, bunt being shown, he gets it down, the runner coming home, Lala will score, and it's going to be an RBI sacrifice bunt for the 3-hitter Troiani. How about that?
Not a bad move, and, you know, really no reason to try to come home on that. Just get the secure out at first, so that'll allow Jordan Lala to come across and score for the 7th run of the afternoon. 7 different Firebirds have come across to score. The only 2 who haven't yet are Matt Goodhart and Danny Soretti. Goodhart stands in now.
Yeah, Goodhart just reaching base once in 4 plate appearances with a walk. Butler able to find the zone here with a runner on second and 2 away. Butler the pitch, and it comes in and hits him. And so Goodhart reaching base for the second time. And now it's going to be 2 on, 2 away for Ray Gill.
Yep, and first base was open, so he had that one to give, but not the ideal start here for Jordan Butler in his debut.
So Gill in 4 plate appearances with a home run and a walk. He's also struck out twice, so a little bit of everything.
Yep, and with 2 away, the Mariners just trying to end this inning before any more damage can be done.
Already 1 home in the inning, and that is now 4 of the last 5 innings in which Orleans has scored. And a fastball will miss high for ball 1.
So first and second, 2 away.
Lefty against righty. The pitch to Gill is fouled straight back into the netting.
Yep, and Gill has already shown off a lot of things today. He's shown his speed and also this raw power. Had the home run back in the second. It was a simpler time back then. The Mariners had a 2-0 lead, had it cut to 1, and the game was still well within reach. But since then, the wheels have completely come off here.
That pitch is hammered in the air out towards right center field. Stumbling in a diving attempt, and the ball is down. So a run is going to come in and score, and shaken up out in center field.
No, he caught it.
He caught it, wow.
What a catch from Max Marshak. Flashing the leather out there, a full extension and a diving play on the ball that was sinking fast, and Max Marshak just made a Sports Center catch out there in center.
Yeah, it was a tough to tell on that one as the ball was sinking quickly, not exactly an immediate ruling by the first base umpire, but the side is in fact retired. So we head to the final inning here from Eldridge Park, and it is 7-2, Orleans with an advantage. We'll be right back to bring you the final inning. Once again, you're listening to Mariners Baseball on the Harwich Mariners Radio Network. We head to the 9th inning. Chris Gallen leading things off, the last hopes for the Mariners as they trail in this one by a score of 7-2. But it would have been a lot worse had not been a great catch out in center field as Gallen lays off the first pitch 1-0. Phenomenal catch by Max Marshak. Max Marshak. Still trying to get the pronunciation on that new name as that pitch will miss outside to make it a 2-0 count. Nick Garcia will pitch the 9th. Second inning of work. This is actually his first full inning of work. And that pitch is in there for a called strike.
Yep, coming in to replace Isaac Escada back in the visitors' 8th, and really was able to get out of it quickly. Now he'll have his first full coming up, and he'll face off against a pretty good spot in the order.
Fastball missing low and outside, and as you mentioned before the start of last inning, Garcia, a lot of fastball, or a lot of heat on that fastball, getting up there up to 98 on the gun. Not something you see often out of these D3 guys, and that fastball's in there to fill the count 3-2.
Yep, he also got a majority of work as an infielder, so came in and was utilized by his team that way at Chapman. So versatile guy, could go a couple of different ways and give you a couple different spots in the field he can fill.
Pitch is in there for a called strike 3, and Gallen goes down looking the second time he's struck out in this one, and there's one down in the 9th. And another mound visit coming up, so we'll see if we're going to have another pitching change.
And in the meantime, I'd like to remind you that today's game is brought to you by Milton Cat. For sales and rentals of Caterpillar machinery, generators, or marine engines, visit miltoncat.com, your local area cat dealer.
So this base runner streak, base runner less streak, I should say, continues for Harwich, dating all the way back to 2 down in the 4th inning. They have not been able to get any offense going since then. And now Daniel Cabrera is going to try to get an opportunity as we have a new pitcher set to go down to record the final 2 outs. We'll introduce him when we come back after this break. Once again, it is Orleans 7 and Harwich 2. You're listening to Mariners Baseball on the Harwich Mariners Radio Network. So Orleans will head to the southpaw to try to finish things up, and making his debut is Carter Lohman. Lohman, the 20-year-old, or excuse me, the 19-year-old out of Louisville, rising junior, looking to pick up not really a save here, but try to pick up some experience here in his first chance with the Orleans Firebirds.
Yep, and back in 2019, take a look at his numbers from the University of Louisville. You mentioned 11 appearances with 1 start. Didn't post any kind of a record, but a 4.6 ERA, and through 9 2/3 of an inning pitched, 8 walks, 8 strikeouts. So trying to improve those numbers a little bit as the hard-throwing lefty will come in. Try to make something happen here against a Mariners lineup that has looked a little bit tough here through the back part of the order. But with Daniel Cabrera and Nico Cavadas coming up, anything can happen, and we'll see whether they can pull off a miracle here and avoid dipping back to 2 games below 500.
So here's Cabrera, who only reached base on a walk back in the 4th. He also had a steal, but that was in between a couple of flyouts in the 1st and the 6th. First pitch from Lohman skipped in. So Cabrera from LSU, looking to try to keep things alive and maybe start a 9th inning rally with his team trailing by 5. And he swings at that pitch and sends it out towards left field. Running over is Lala, but instead it'll be the left fielder making the catch, Triani, for out number 2.
Yeah, and he really put a charge in it, not to that one, but into the last one that he sent out to the deepest part of the ballpark to straightaway center. So 3 flyouts for him, but, you know, getting under it a little bit. Just needs to straighten that out a bit and maybe try to put some more in play.
So the Mariners are down to their final out in this one. It'll be up to Nico Cavadas out of Notre Dame. Big lefty watches the first pitch in there for a strike.
Yeah, Cavadas actually made the final out yesterday, so keeps finding himself in this situation against Orleans.
Cavadas 1 for 3 with a double and a run scored, and he swings and misses at that pitch, so he falls behind 0-2. Base is empty here in the 9th, and Lohman trying to finish things up for the Firebirds. From the windup, the 0-2, and that one handcuffing the catcher. Tough play by Emery, so it'll be 1-2.
Yep, so Cavadas gifted a ball there, and now a chance to step out and think things over as they get a new ball to the pitcher in Lohman out there.
Lohman will try again from the windup, the 1-2. And that ball gets past Emery as well, so maybe some fatigue setting in for the catcher.
Yep, get a little bit complacent down to the final out. Nobody on base, so nothing to worry about there for Emory.
Joey Weimer waiting in the on-deck circle if necessary. The 2-2. Swing and a miss, strike three. Got him on the breaking ball, and that is how this one will end as the Firebirds of Orleans taking both games of the home-and-home series, and they win Game 2 by a final score of 7-2 in front of their home crowd at Eldridge Park. We'll be back in a moment to wrap things up from Eldridge. Once again, final score in this one, Orleans 7, Harwich 2. You're listening to Mariners Baseball on the Harwich Mariners Radio Network. Back here one last time from Orleans to wrap things up after the Firebirds enjoying a 7-2 victory over the Harwich Mariners. And Tyler, just one of those nights where it looked like the bats were going early for Harwich, picking up 2 runs on 2 hits in the first 2 innings, and then absolutely nothing after that.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen this now in back-to-back games where Harwich is able to get out to an early lead, but can't make anything of it. You got to just continue that offensive consistency, and that continues to be an issue going forward for the Mariners.
So the win for Orleans improves their record to 9-4-2 as they hold on to that top spot in the Eastern Division. The loss demotes Harwich now to 7-9 as they're trying to battle out of that basement spot. Still early in the season, but Harwich now dropping back-to-back games. And the win for the Firebirds will go to Jared Schuster. He improves to 2-0 on the season, going 5 strong, giving up 2 runs on 2 hits, both earned. Walked 2 and struck out 6 in the winning effort. The loss goes to Carson Seymour. Seymour also going 5 innings, giving up just 2 earned runs on 5 hits, 3 total runs. Walked 3 and struck out 2. He is saddled with the loss as he is now 0-1 on the season. As Orleans with 7 runs on 13 hits, no errors, they left on 11. But Harwich with just 2 runs on 2 hits, committing the 1 error and leaving only 2 on base. And Tyler, just struggling to get guys on base as the Mariners, their last base run in the game came with 2 away on a 2-out walk by Corey Acton, and that was way back in the 4th inning. After that, it was all zeros, as it was, I believe, the last 16 men were retired to end the ball game. definitely a frustrating night for Harwich at the plate.
Yeah, but they'll have an off day tomorrow to kind of think things over and take a little bit of a rest. And keep in mind, they're also going to be getting 3 fresh bats back into the lineup from the College World Series Home Run Derby. So Mike Rothenberg, Tyler Keenan, and of course Chris Lanzillia will be back. So they'll get some much needed help back in the lineup again. And at that point, a couple more guys coming in from Texas Tech potentially as well. So they'll figure it out. Nothing to be too concerned about. But for the time being, the off day tomorrow should help.
Yeah, as you mentioned, the off day was the Mariners' next game scheduled for Tuesday night. That one coming back at White House Field as they will host Chatham Anglers for the first time this season. But for now, that is all, as the Mariners once again dropping this game to Orleans by a final score of 7-2. For all of us of the Harwich Mariners broadcast team, for our producer Matt Lucy, for my broadcaster Tyler Henry, I'm Colin Casey. Thanks for tuning in with us tonight, and we'll see you again on Tuesday. So long.